think you should be.
What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video we will be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as Wanchain. So shout out to Tyson Kaminska for commenting their top altcoin. If you guys would like to be shouted out in tomorrow's video, please make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications, as well as leave a comment below telling me what your top altcoin is. Otherwise, let's get on with today's episode. So you can see right now I'm on coinmarketcap.com, and I'm just going to refresh the page really quick so we can get a better up-to-date view of what exactly we're looking at. So if you guys remember yesterday, we were currently at a market cap of like $388 billion. So we actually broke $400 billion about 2 or 3 days ago, and then with a huge down, I guess, reversal, you could call it, in the market, we saw prices at around $388 billion. Clearly, if you look at the market cap today, you can see we're at $415 billion with a current volume of $28 billion, which is like impeccable. Obviously, we've seen as high as $800 billion, so we're halfway there to see those all-time highs and those $20,000 Bitcoins. But honestly, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were only at around a $200 billion market cap, so we pretty much doubled in about a month or two, which is pretty wild. But definitely nice to see that we're trading above $415 billion, obviously shooting for the $500 billion market cap right now. Bitcoin dominance as low as 37.9%, which is okay. When we scroll down, you'll see, for the most part, we are having an up day for the, give or take a few coins that are down. Seeing not too many double digits, but there are a few across the board. We see Bitcoin, let's see, Litecoin is still number 6. EOS did pass that, and clearly there is a difference in market cap right now with around, I want to say, $4 billion difference, which is pretty wild because they were pretty much neck and neck for quite a while. Looking at Bitcoin right now with a market cap of $157 billion, absolutely wild. A 9,248 coin at 4.49%. Ethereum at $659 at 7%. Ripple up 6%. Bitcoin Cash up 9%. Seems to be doing quite well. And then Litecoin seems to be, I guess, consolidating quite well after that downtrend, up at 5%. So when we check the market right now, guys, I pretty much want to go over. You can clearly see what's happening right now. It should be pretty obvious and like clear as day. What I'm noticing is I'm seeing some type of support level that can be drawn. Not sure whether or not that's been there or whether it just found support. Interesting enough, you can pretty much guess what happened. We shot up on 4 hour, hit resistance right around 165, and this is the daily resistance on the high-low middle moving average. I'll show that in a minute. And we could not break this and fell. Tried to find support at this trend line right here, this uptrend. Could not hold, fell, and obviously went back to the 4 hour and got our boost that we needed. Clearly, you can see the struggle we had, but it did not want to go lower than that. The bulls forced the price right back up. And right now, we're kind of cruising right around this area of resistance around the $150 region. The coin is $151.96, so around $152, but you can clearly see this teacup reversal. I'd like to point out a comment that somebody left on the YouTube, so I'll shout him out 1 second. You'll see his comment right around here. It'll be somewhere on the screen. It is Proud Dad commented, "Did you notice that we have now formed the handle of a textbook cup and handle chart formation? Super bullish formation. If you look on the 1 hour, you can see that the handle was perfectly formed inside of 2 descending parallel lines. From here, we should be revisiting the MMA and break out substantially." So he did say to check the 1 hour, so let's just do that and see what exactly he's talking about. But on the 4 hour, we can clearly see what exactly is happening. So I'm just going to infer that this is the cup and handle right here. I could be wrong, but I can clearly see this reversal right here, this uptrend. Double bottom right here, as you guys can see. 1 and then 2, and then we broke up, breaking the 1 hour high-low middle moving average. But if we go to the daily chart, you can see what we did precisely. So zooming out now on the 4 hour, you can see we have this uptrend right here, clearly facing resistance right around this high-low middle moving average, which was anticipated. It was expected, guys. It's not a red flag. It's not a scare. Don't be afraid that we fell. It's just slight consolidation. It's like just a pullback that we needed to keep going higher. Basically, we had this uptrend. We continued to go up. You can see this double top right here. Fell a little bit lower. And we continued up, got in between this channel right here, and on the Binance Coinbase, the Binance Litecoin to US dollar, which I'll show you in a second, you can see we actually hit the red band and then fell. Now on the 4-hour, we should be heading up right around to this support level. So this is going to be our next resistance, I think, when we start to kind of hit this $160 mark, basically trying to break above that, but basically trying to break this white uptrending line right here. If I show you guys the Litecoin to US dollar on Binance right now, let me just pull that up. You'll see what exactly we're talking about. So right now this is the Binance Litecoin to US dollar. You can see the little reversal right here. Beautifully drawn, I'd say. But check it out right here. So now what you guys can see is the daily breakout of Binance on a one-day spectrum. You can see this descending triangle, obviously, or symmetrical, or pennant flag, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. You can see clearly the ABCDE Elliott wave, and you can see what we're hitting, this resistance right here. Broke out of E, faced resistance, and now pulled back slightly. I do think we're going to regain momentum and pop up through that. That'll be the next jump that we can anticipate. But you can see when prices rose, we hit resistance at this level and could not close above it and then fell below. Another thing I wanted to point out on the Litecoin to US dollar on Coinbase is when we check the 4-hour, you can see how we were oversold. So the pullback was quite necessary, guys, or helpful, only because you can see what we were trading at this 165 region. Not only were we facing resistance at 165, but we were also quite overbought. And that is a good indicator that I'd like to say on the 4-hour that there would be a slight pullback, not a long-term or a big pullback, but a slight pullback like we saw. Basically to just let us get back to, I guess, the middle or the average on the RSI. But you can see this pullback right here. I want to show you guys, if you look right around this area, so you can see the price right here is around $150, $148. Went all the way as high as 151. And you can see when we scroll down, or look down, we are overbought right around this price. Sorry, this price. We're even overbought right around this price. Now if we move forward, I'm just going to mark it. You can see how at 150 right here, we are overbought in this area. And then you can see right here, we're currently at $154. And we're right down here. So that is why we needed this pullback, because we went back to a price we were already at where we were overbought. We are now nowhere near overbought. We kind of went back to that price. So this will allow us to continue to move higher, maybe even 170 now, before being overbought and then needing a pullback. And this is good news because, let me delete that. When we go to the daily, and then we'll look at the weekly, you can see that we've pulled back substantially now to being almost near, I guess, like in the middle, or homeostasis, whatever you want to call it, basically at equilibrium, at the middle area. That's what we needed. Being at this area right here, we can almost anticipate a higher run, or it allows for a higher run. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing for the market. Definitely anticipate a higher move. So what I could try and say is the next step Litecoin has is attempting to break above this level right here. So wherever this ends up, it's this that's going to be the issue area. And then obviously this zone. So honestly, I'd say right in this area, if we end up there, this is going to be the issue zone. We're going to have resistance right around here when we catch up to it. and then we're going to have resistance at this top because it's going to be a double top, and we're going to see if we can bust through that. But given enough volume, I think it's definitely possible. Moving on to Litecoin, guys, we can see a very similar pattern. Sorry, moving on to Bitcoin, did not mean to say Litecoin. You can see a very similar swoop in the market. Swoop. Not overbought anymore. You can see when we were over here in this region, we were quite overbought. This whole uptrend right here, this whole breakout, we were overbought. And you can see we're back at the same exact price we were at, if not a little bit higher, and we're nowhere near overbought. So that's why we need these slight pullbacks. We didn't even touch resistance, support, which is interesting, that high-low middle moving average, but you can clearly see where price would not drop below, around the $86 or $8,500 region. Even higher, honestly, right around the $86.72 region. So very nice to see. You can see what I'm talking about, where we're going to start to face resistance now. Basically, if I zoom out right now, you can see the uptrend Bitcoin has formed and where it's going to start facing resistance. And you can see twice we're going to face not only this $9,370 resistance, but we're also going to face this uptrend resistance level. So it's going to be double pressure, but the fact that the high-low middle moving average is moving up, it should be able to pop us above here and continue on our, I guess, uptrend into higher highs and eventually breaking the 10,000 region. Looking at Ethereum now, guys, very beautiful, beautifully drawn out token. I'd like to say you can clearly see this uptrend right here, and we are pretty much sticking to it, testing it once. No, I'd say twice on the high-low middle. No, sorry, on this downtrend right here, almost hitting the high-low middle moving average, but pushing enough pressure upwards to keep us above this white band here, which is very, very, very nice to see. And this seems to be an extremely strong support level for Ethereum. So I think that's the strongest out of the three blue chips that we looked at right now. But you can see how clear this uptrend is. And honestly, the next step Ethereum is going to have is basically trying to break above this zone right here, this $733 region. As we can scroll out, you can see how many times we've used this level as resistance and support. In both cases, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then if I just moved out farther, you can see all this resistance here. So definitely something to pay attention to. I do think with enough volume and the fact that the RSI is pushing us higher, we should, the MMA pushing us higher, we should be able to bust through and just pretty much keep following this line. That's all I really have to say for Ethereum. Basically, we're just going to continue following this uptrend higher. So definitely good news for Ethereum. Looking at Wanchain right now, Wanchain, whatever you call it, it does seem to be like a recently released ICO, publicly traded ICO. Looking at the 4-hour right now, all I'm noticing is just a nice uptrend. This is what I notice. Hopefully you guys notice this too. But just a very nicely patterned uptrend. A few lines of support. We can draw those in to hopefully help you guys graph. There's one there. One right in that region. One right here. And honestly, this is why it's hard to do altcoins, is because something that's so new on TradingView or in general makes it very hard to graph where the token can climb to. Obviously, the only thing we have right now is this uptrend right here, which is similar to Ethereum, but we don't know where it's going to face resistance at the top. Clearly, this reversal right here could be a resistance level in the sort. But because I don't have any other patterns to base it off of our previous history, it's hard to say how high or how low this coin will go. But hopefully me drawing these lines will help you guys kind of see where we're dealing with right now. Being overbought or very near overbought on the RSI for Wanchain does anticipate that we should come back down to basically retest this zone. So if I was to guess, I'd say we're probably going to end up going somewhere over here just to regain support, if not consolidate sideways on Wanchain. But otherwise, if you guys like the video, please leave a comment below, turn on post notifications, subscribe. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, guys. That's freaking awesome. We should be able to hit that by tonight, I'm hoping. Otherwise, tomorrow definitely. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.